Now let's look at how to come up with a software idea, or really define and refine our software idea, even if we don't have one right now. If you do have one right now, that's great. It's still going to be important to listen to this section. If you don't have an idea, don't worry about it. We'll talk through some examples in this lesson as well as the next one. So the first thing we want to do is create and really define the outcome that we want, right? So in order to answer the question of what type of software we want to create, we want to think about what type of problem do we want to solve. Do we want to eliminate a problem? Do we want to reduce its negative effects? As we talked about in the previous video, sometimes you don't have to just totally eliminate an issue. Sometimes you could just make it a lot better and more manageable, and you'll still have a huge impact. You know, or maybe do we want to create something that offers functionality that is not available in any other existing system? And this is going to be really important because this is going to help us shape the type of software to create. So for example, you want to solve a problem on a mobile phone. Well, you're not going to make a desktop command line application to do that. So you really want to be as specific as possible. We have a creating and defining outcomes worksheet that's attached as a resource to this video. Please feel free to open it up. Just brainstorm any notes. You can create electronic files, so you can create as many copies as you want if you want to work on multiple ideas. What I'll do now is I'll just talk through quickly a couple of my ideas and the software that I've created over the years. So first example is, I work in implementing enterprise applications. One of the issues that I ran into is that projects typically go over budget. Companies cut out the documentation section of a project, so they never get the documentation on how the application works. And when they run into issues, they're stranded and stuck. So one piece of software that I had created was automating the documentation of the application so that you don't have to put man hours associated with it. So if we take that example, the problem that I wanted to solve was not having enough time in a project in order to generate documentation. Saves time, saves money, because typically consultants are doing implementation and they're charging based on the amount of time that the implementation takes. And as a result, you're able to click a button and get the much needed documentation faster and at reduced cost than other competitors in the field. The other example that I want to talk through is, I built an automated testing program for Oracle applications. So every month, Oracle releases patches on the software, and it's up to, each company and customer to test to make sure that those patches don't break any existing functionality. As you can imagine, they don't have time to do the testing, and oftentimes we're just crossing our fingers hoping that there are no breaks in the system as these patches are applied. So I created an application that automatically tests all the calculations and components that are inside the application, so that the customers have the peace of mind that once one of these patches is deployed, it's not going to break any additional functionality, right? So that saves time from businesses, so that way they don't have to apply man hours to testing applications. So when we think about the end result, if it's a time savings, if it's a money savings, if it's a combination of both of them, then that can be very powerful. So please fill out your creating and defining outcomes worksheet, and we'll go to the next lesson.